A reality is a construct of experience. It is an ecosystem designed to facilitate a certain experience of existence. Our core infinite self exists beyond all constructs of reality. However, we have become so enmeshed in our ego constructs, physical forms, and constructed environments that we now identify ourselves with temporary states of existence. We are so plugged into our current ecosystem and structure of experience as human beings that we tend to reduce everything to the materialistic existence we can perceive through our senses. Physicality, by its very nature, limits and confines experience through its construct. Physical forms themselves do not have the capacity to interpret unfiltered reality, so they must reduce reality to units it can understand. Our bodies are interfacing with and perceiving other forms in our environment through consciousness in a manner that allows us to simplify and understand our reality. This interfacing can only occur if the body can interpret what it is perceiving through the specific lenses of its physiological software and hardware. They are like systems designed to provide a framework for perceiving and interpreting experience. We also have personality interfaces, or ego constructs, that are specific to the form and ecosystem we inhabit that influence how we consciously interpret our experiential reality and view ourselves. These personality/ego constructs are like special glasses our consciousness puts on to provide a particular framework and sense of identity we perceive reality through. So, to construct a reality that it can interface with, our body's consciousness and ego interprets the forms in its environment in particular ways that it was designed for in order to produce a certain experience of existence. This should start to make clear that what we perceive with our senses does not constitute an objective reality. What we perceive constructs a subjective reality that is specific to the construct of our physical and egoic forms. Other forms, like insects and animals, may experience parts of our environment in the same ways, but may experience other aspects, like time, completely differently. When we interface with these other life forms, we are perceiving them in ways that we can make sense of. But this does not mean we understand their experience of reality. What we interpret as short-lived lifespans may actually be long, fulfilling lives from their perspective. What is important to know is that every form and species of life has its own construct and form of consciousness needed to interface with its reality in a specific way that creates its experience. Everything has a degree of consciousness. It has to exist as any construct in the universe. To inhabit a form, one must embody the awareness to maintain that form, specific to its needs. Consciousness is what drives the survival of forms. It is the mechanism used to root us in a particular identity construct. Every form has its own ways of perceiving, experiencing, and interfacing with life specific to its functions and needs for existing and surviving. Consciousness is the mind energy necessary for a form to interpret its reality. It's a necessary component for any construct or form to exist within the dualistic universe. There is intention behind every experience of reality and construct of life in the universe. This means there is meaning and purpose for every experience of life we have. How do cells know how to come together to form the body of a frog, or tree, or human, or pear? Because there is an intelligent awareness that is directing creative intention. The life forms we embody and the environment and ecosystem that contain our forms are directly tuned to have intended experiences of meaning and purpose. So So our experience of reality is tailored to creative intention. Every species and ecosystem of life are designed to achieve certain outcomes. Thus, the interaction between species and ecosystem must be mediated by interfaces that communicate a certain reality. Intention flows from an individual and collective harmony of what our greater beings want to experience and feel is necessary for soul growth. This directs the creation of specific structures of life and ecosystems and how they interface. And this method of creation is responsible for our perceptions and experiences of reality. When we view reality this way, we can begin to imagine the incredible level of cooperation and coordination needed to construct and maintain ecosystems of life. Every form must have an individual intention in harmony with the collective intention of that reality. Everything boils down to relationship, because there is no experience of reality without it. We have a relationship with everything we come into contact with, everything our senses perceive consciously and subconsciously, and every form, energy, structure, and unit of our ecosystem we interface with. This is also obvious of the forms we inhabit and the immense level of coordination occurring within our bodies for our physical incarnations to even exist. We cannot exist without the relationship between our forms and the ecosystem that maintains them. There is an impeccable degree of harmony orchestrating our experiences of reality at any moment. Relationship is a foundation of reality. When we truly understand that our reality is a product of intention and relationship, we realize reality is malleable. We are not bound by the structures and interfaces that define our experience of reality. In fact, we are already beyond them. When we embody our authentic power as creator beings, we have the ability to direct conscious intention to manifest great change in our physical reality. Recognizing that reality is made up of relationships means that we can act on any relationship we have to influence change, whether it is with our bodies, thoughts, emotions, other people, organizations and institutions, organisms, ailments, diseases, addictions, or anything else in our ecosystem and environment. We can start by becoming aware of the relationships we have with our reality and exploring what they mean to us. Begin to ask yourself what your relationships with your reality are teaching you. What wisdom are you cultivating from your experiences? What changes are important for you to make for personal evolution? And then begin to synthesize these things with the evolution of humanity and the planet as a whole. We have great power to direct creative expression of our reality in the physical when we align our individual intentions with the greater intentions of the planet and our collective evolution. Now is the time we awaken out of the slumber of what we perceived as real for so long to direct a new experience of reality. It is our birthright, and we are ready for the next step in the evolution of our creative reality.